Today marks 1317 days sharing lessons I learned and continue to learn with all of you. I hope these lessons will inspire you, support your dreams, help you achieve your goals, and really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak about sleep. But not just regular sleep. Of course, we understand that sleep is health. Being able to sleep, I think, is very, very important. But today I want to focus more on sleep, and you live your day and you want to sleep. You live your day and you want to sleep. And I think that that's just normal when there's a lot of things going on. I think that wanting to sleep and sleeping in general, I think that it's different things. Because I think that sometimes wanting to sleep and you do not need to sleep, I think that's a sign. It's a sign that something that you're doing wrong, something that you're able to adjust, something that you need to take action on. Because wanting to sleep and you do not need to sleep shows that there's something that might be that you might avoid. Maybe there's something is going on in your life that is putting a lot of pressure on you, and sleep is escape. And I think that there's a lot of reasons why we want to sleep. And of course, there could be even the worst part being in some kind of depression. But I think that sometimes wanting to sleep, it's could be a good sign that it's a time to take a rest. There's multiple reasons why we want to sleep and when we do not need to sleep. And I will share a couple of things that I think that you need to understand. But the number one thing that I think that when we want to sleep and you not need to sleep is just wanting to escape. And wanting to escape a lot of different things. Wanting to escape escape the fake mask that we put on ourselves during the day, going to your work that you do not like, maybe escape the current financial situation, current relationships, current picture of yourself that you see in the mirror. So what do you want to escape? To sleep. It could be that you want to escape the misalignment of your life, maybe pressures of your life, maybe stressors of your life. There's a lot of different reasons, but I think that's one main reason why sleep is so attractive when you're going through stuff is that sleep is a rest. Sleep is a rest, and sleep allows to feel nothing. And that's why sometimes even sleep could be useful. Because if you always feel those emotions, negative emotions, everything that's just piling up, and you're not able to release them, sometimes being able to rest just a little bit from all the pain, that's going to be useful because when you rest from the pain and you come back and you have a little bit more power to really execute on and take actions on those pains, I think that is able to really get out of them even faster. For example, me, I always say that when I experiencing something that I do not like, that it's something that is hurtful, that's something that I want to avoid or walk away or anything in between, I have some negative emotions. I allow myself to be miserable for a day, maybe 2 days. It depends on what happened, how big that adversity is. But I allow myself to stay miserable as much as I want for a day or two. And I think that sometimes at that moment, I'm able, if I really want to, I'm able to sleep a little bit longer, maybe during the day, just to make sure that I'm able to really recover, rest for a bit, and then go after the big challenges even faster, with a more intensity. But again, the most important part is sometimes I think that you need to be intense with resting, intense with releasing the negative emotions, intense. Because I think that sometimes we just too slow in releasing the emotions, in releasing that adversity. And sleep sometimes is a great way to really release that. Because you realize that that's not how supposed to life be. But today, I'm not shaming myself. I'm not putting myself in the guilt trip because I sleep longer, because I sleep or I want to sleep. Just knowing that this sleep will allow you to feel a bit better, and that more energy will allow you to take actions necessary to get out of that pressure, get out of that situation, get out of that adversity that you're going through. But that means that the sleep could be one of the aspects that you're able to do. But again, this is not supposed to be like a common thing. That means that you allow yourself, and every single person, based on circumstance, able to choose how long you're allowing yourself to be miserable before you really take action. Where is that bottom? Where is that rock bottom where you're like, enough is enough. That's it. I'm going after taking actions necessary to really achieve that success. because every single person will have those pullbacks in life. Because we push, we have an impulse where we'll be pursuing a vision, but there will be some pullbacks of adversity. And during those pullbacks, we okay to be miserable for a day to really have that impulse forward as well. Because if you're hoping that we'll go in life just through impulses, it will never work. Because in even breathing is you breathe in, you breathe out. You're not able to just breathe in. And I think in life exactly the same. And sometimes we need to allow ourselves to really pull back to make sure that we're able to have push and allow ourselves not have expectations at all. And if sometimes be able to ask like, what you have been carrying for so long that you need to sleep from. Because the questions that it could potentially, when you want to sleep, you can potentially push you into more reflection, more awareness, that you can understand exactly what's going on and what you want to walk away from. And of course, we understand that the most important thing that we need to walk away from, that we want to walk away from, most likely is the most important thing that we need to go through to really get to the next level. And I think that that's the most important part to understand about sleep, that sometimes is a sacred way to tell you that you need to rest and not quit. Because I think that when we feel terrible, when we want to sleep, when we want to really maybe quit, when we want to really remove everything from our lives, that's the time is rest, not quit. Because as I said, we're not able to sustain our impulse all the time. We're not able to hustle all the time. There needs to be sometimes, at some point, some time to reflection, some time for meditation, some time for prayer, some time for spiritual healing and growth. So we need to understand that if you want to sleep, and that means that maybe it's time to rest. When, and the great question is, when was the last time you properly rested? Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually? When was the time when you did that? Because if you find like, oh, I don't remember when the last time I did it, maybe it's time for you to take a break. Maybe you've always been on a break. And maybe you want to sleep because you always want a break. Maybe now the perfect time, because I said that there's never I never found that one advice works for every single person, because it depends where you're at. If you were like hustling all the life and now you expecting great results from it, probably not, because sometimes you just need to pull back yourself, really rest, recuperate, and then go after it. Push more. But if you've been on a break for a long time, that means you don't need to break. You don't need to rest. You don't need to reflect. You reflected already, lived in analysis paralysis. So take a break from analysis paralysis. Take a break from that. And I think that we're able to say, like, I will not think about that. I will not analyze. I was analyzing for the last 5 years. I will execute without thinking. Without thinking, I will execute, execute, execute. And then after my month of execution, month of rest, month of this massive push, I will be able to reflect, okay, how things went when I was just not thinking, not analyzing, just doing. And I think that we want to realize that sometimes you think that we need to more thinking that it is actually needed, because the most important part is still action. And sleep is to rest, that we could take action. Everything is around action. Everything is around action. Something that means everything what we do is that we could have more energy in life source. Because life source, energy, emotional energy, mental energy, physical energy, even spiritual energy, and the vibration that we send, I think that's all about energy and taking action. But I mean that when we think about what is elevating my energy, something could be that sleep is elevating energy, and sometimes sleep during the day, elevating your energy, spiritual energy, or rest, because when you're able to rest, recuperate, at that moment you're able to like arrest it. Because I have done that. I have done in the past when I sleep till 5 p.m. in the evening. I wake up, I have so much energy, and I go to execute, and I execute in such a high level that I move from 5 to 9 in 4 hours. I do so much. Then I just feel proud of myself. I feel I move the needle forward. And after doing that couple of days of sleeping late and doing massive action afterwards, you move to a different location mentally, emotionally, spiritually. At that moment, you say, oh, it was not that bad. And then you get into a rhythm, a routine where you're actually making things happen. And of course, That's why I said it's very, very important to really allow yourself and not guilt, not shame yourself for doing something, taking a break just for a couple of days, or maybe sometimes in a week. It depends, of course, what really happened, just to make sure that you're able to really achieve great things. Because I think that the most important part is feeling good about yourself, allowing yourself to really feel and not put guilt on yourself that you're not hustling all the time. So I hope that you reflect. So when was the last time that you slept? When was the last time that you allow yourself not to hustle? When was the last time when you said that I will do differently than I used to do in the past? Because I said that the most important part is sometimes give a break from the way you live right now. If you want, if you live one way, do for a month, bulldoze everything what you did differently and see what happens. I think that's it's sometimes will allow you to really appreciate even more the things that you do right now because you start missing. And because you start missing those things that you're already doing right now, you will execute with more joy, with the better attitude. So I think that is very, very important. Sometimes do the opposite what you usually do, just to really bring that black and white mentality, just understand, okay, what I truly love and what I want to keep doing for the rest of my life. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.